everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slow Blink Anime Podcast. This is Phil.
And this is Candace.
And today we're going to be talking about the rest of the time we got reincarnated as a slime anime. It's going to be episodes 18 through 24, and it's going to be my final thoughts on what I thought of the whole show and kind of see what I liked and what I didn't like about it overall. Mm-hmm. All right. And Candace, do you have anything you want to add?
I haven't watched this anime, so I really don't have much input on it. But I guess you're gonna ask me some questions about it.
Yeah, just kind of see what you think. But just gonna give you my observations and what I thought. But it's gonna be the whole rest of season 1 that I saw, and overall I really enjoyed it. And I'm trying to make this as spoiler free as possible, just in case y'all want to watch it, because I really do recommend it, and I think it's a really fun anime to watch. Like you said, you mentioned in the episode before, it's kind of one in between serious ones when you had like a lot of pressure emotionally, or you're really invested in the story. But
like
this one,
blown away. You're just blown away right after finishing the series. Yeah. The kind of anime.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more lighthearted and kind of easier to take in than some of the more intense anime that we've seen. So anyway, I finished it today, and it was really good. I like how consistent they stayed throughout the whole story with the powers and the leveling system, and how it stayed kind of RPG-ish throughout the whole thing, even towards the end. And he had that great sage that he would talk to. That's kind of like the kind of narrator in the video game of the world. And it stayed how he's able to use his power throughout the whole thing, and it was relevant to the story, and it stayed relevant. And I like how now that he has that human body that I mentioned before, he stayed in it more, but he would always go back to the slime. So it's not like the story was making it to be more... They kind of did make it more shonen and more traditional, but they still had that element of him being like the weak slime, and everyone still would be surprised when they found out about it.
So, you already said the things that you like about the anime? Mm-hmm. Well, do you have more to add?
Yeah, I've got a few more things.
Okay.
Like the visuals and the animation were really good, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah. They were very consistent throughout. There wasn't any kind of drop in quality that I noticed. The second opening especially, I think really was really done well. The music was great, especially the little piano at the beginning, and then the visuals for that too was very stayed true to the story. And overall, like the whole package was great. Like I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed watching the anime, and I had fun.
What would you compare this anime to?
Compare it to?
Obviously you're not gonna compare it to My Hero. Well, would you?
You mean like in the story or? The quality.
Like I guess the overall aspect of the anime. The overall like.
Okay. Here's. Now that you said that, this is kind of what I think of when I was watching it. Do you remember I watched Konosuba a while back? That was more like a comedy type Isekai.
Okay.
So it's kind of, if that was more serious, it would be similar to that anime. That's what I thought. Like if the characters acted more seriously rather than just trying to.
So is it kind of like in
time.
between Sword Art Online and Konosuba?
It'd be a good combination of the two. Sword Art Online was pretty serious, but the story, how...
The Sword Art Online serious aspect of it, and then the Konosuba comedy aspect of it.
Comedy and the story-wise, too.
And to one. And then this anime. Mm-hmm. Is it kind of like that?
Because you get the overpoweredness of, like, Kirito, but you get all the really good story and the action and how the world was built in the slime anime. And I think melded together, like you said, that's a good example. That's a good way to put it if you're recommending it.
The comedy, lightheartedness, more fun.
Yeah, you get the comedy from it too.
From the Konosuba.
Yeah, it's not as blatant as in Konosuba, but it's comparable to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like...
It's not jokes the whole time.
Yeah. So it's not like jokes all the time, and also it's not as intense as SAO. So it's a good middle ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when we say SAO, I'm thinking of the first season, that first 12 episodes. Because I think that was the best part of the whole anime. Because after that, it kind of got weird.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I feel like there's a whole nother video
Yeah, we
sort
need
of
to talk
online.
about that. Anyway, of course.
What else do you like?
That was probably the majority of what I liked.
Okay, so you talked about the music. You like the openings and endings.
I like the ending too. I still like that.
You like the graphics of it being just high quality.
Yeah, the animation was smooth, high quality.
It's a newer anime. What else you say? You like how consistent the story is?
Yeah.
All throughout. You like the characters?
Yeah, I really enjoyed how the characters were and how they developed, and kind of they all, even this will be more in like my critique of it a little bit later, but they were all relevant for the most part. But we'll get into it in a minute about what I didn't like so much about it, or what I thought they could do better.
Based on the characters.
But based on everything, the story too. But the main part was the characters, and then some of the power that they had. Yeah, but that was the majority of what I liked, and let me get into what I thought they could really improve on and kind of make the story better, or the stuff that I noticed really, because it wasn't anything bad per se, but it was still overall great anime. But the first thing I want to say was about the characters, like you mentioned. They were all relevant for the little arcs that they had, and for the most part they did stay involved in the story. But I don't know if it's because I kind of marathoned it and watched everything back to back to back. But I didn't really get invested too much in all the characters, because there was quite a big cast that was involved with it. The main ones that probably stood out the most were the Kijin. They were like the ogres that evolved after Rimuru gave them names. So those are the most ones that stood out the most. And then
why did they stood out the most? Like what about them?
They got, because they got introduced when their village got attacked, and then after they evolved they got a lot stronger, and throughout they became like pretty much his right hand man, all of them, the whole group of them, and they were heavily involved with the construction of the whole nation he was building.
Okay.
And they're also involved in the fighting because they became very powerful. So any kind of enemy was involved, they were involved in the fight too.
Okay.
And they were the ones that stood out, other than the main cast, like Rimuru, and that's like the demon lords. That would be the most ones that stood out the most.
Okay.
And Shizu, of course. But that was one of my main things. I didn't really feel as connected as other animes, and I couldn't remember exactly everybody's name. I just knew who they were. I knew they were important in some way. And towards the end, he gets involved with Shizu's students, and we only get a few episodes with them, which was a little disappointing. I thought they were going to be, they would, like the relationship, yeah, the relationship with Rimuru would be more invested, but it just seemed a little bit rushed towards the end.
I have never. I mean, I'm just gonna say I've never watched this anime. I watched bits and pieces of it when you were watching it, and I wasn't even paying attention at all. But it kind of looks like to me that the entire anime is basically just really focused on Rimuru, which is like that one main character. And then there's not much of focus on the other ones.
Yeah.
Is from how I'm. But see, again, I've never watched this anime, so I don't know. This is just based on my side opinion.
Yeah.
Just from seeing little bits of clips of it.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. He was definitely the focus of the anime, and everything was revolving around him and him building this nation that he was a part of. Yeah. And that's going to lead into my other kind of critique about it, that he was presented with a bunch of issues throughout the whole anime, but it always seemed like he had the answer. Like, it didn't seem too difficult. Anything was
challenge, some kind of like a block along the way that he needs to encounter and solve.
Like the block would get in the way, but it's like, oh, I can destroy this block. It's always something like it's always an easy solution for him no matter what. And even later they face a powerful monster that's as powerful as the Demon Lord, and he so happened to just make a friend the episodes beforehand that was able to fight that monster. So
that's where the lightheartedness
yeah,
comes in, because I feel like they don't want to make it too serious.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of an easy watch. Nothing too stressful about it.
And if you, yeah, that's a good way. It's not stressful on the viewer, because what I did enjoy about it was that he did keep all his promises that he made throughout the anime. And one of the very first promises he made was one of the Otherworlders, Shizu. And it was about some of her students, and he did follow through with that. And that was also a little strange that she was having this problem with the students, but like I said, he had this issue that was presented to him, but it didn't seem like he found the solution very easily. Like he didn't have to struggle, and it's kind of confusing to me because Shizu was more involved with those students and how they were developing, because she herself was like them, and she wasn't able to come up with a solution. But Rimuru, who just got thrown into this problem, it was simple for him, which was not disappointing. It was just kind of it kind of was disappointing.
It lacks more of its character developments when in terms of developing.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Like the only development we got was like the first or second episodes
when he got killed and he got all these power skills based on his regrets,
and his personality just completely turned around from there. And then it seemed like he stayed that way throughout the whole first season. That's what I thought.
Well, I feel like it was intentional, like how the creator of this anime, or it's based off of manga, right?
I think it's a light novel.
Light novel?
Yeah.
Well, the creator of this series, of this show, the creator just wants to make it more lighthearted and, you know, somebody that's very reliable, I guess, in every way, and very confident in every way. Because maybe it's based on when he was a human. Maybe he wasn't like that at all when he was a human, and then everything turned around, and now he's all this very reliable, confident, strong character. But I don't know. I'm just saying things right now based on whatever you're telling me.
Yeah, but overall, I did like the anime. It was good. I would recommend it for all y'all to watch it. It was really lighthearted, like Candace said. And I think looking forward, one of the main things that was presented throughout the whole thing, he was asking about being a demon lord, or how does someone become a demon lord? And we find out towards the end of the first season that it's a powerful being that has fallen from grace, and it's always by their choice. So I feel like later he's going to be presented with a situation that's not easy for him, and he's going to have to make like a hard decision to become a demon lord. Because he'd always like kind of brush it off after they said, "Why don't you become one? Like why don't you be one?" And he's like, "What do I get from it?" And he always would say, "I'm not interested." But I think it would make sense if they were building us up like confidence in Rimuru and how he's so reliable, like you said. And then at a moment we're gonna get up to a point where he can't complete or he can't help these people, and he's gonna have to make that choice to do something immoral or go against his wishes and become a demon lord. That's kind of where I saw that going, and that's the only kind of prediction I had from the whole thing.
Maybe he'll have a legit reason to become one. Maybe along the way he'll find something that he really cares about. Because I feel like from how it sounds to me, he cares about all these people, but he doesn't care enough to do what they want him to do. They're telling him, become a demon lord. you might as well because you're freaking strong, right?
Yeah. Well, it's mostly like the bad people telling them to do it.
Oh, the bad
Yeah, like the
people
demon
do it.
lords are telling them to do it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe he'll find a reason along the way to become one, or maybe he'll find a reason that's kind of related to who's that girl that what's her name?
Shizu?
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's Shizu, the name that you've been talking about all this
Mhm.
time. So maybe it'll have to be related to Shizu that will like become a factor of him to decide if he needs to become a demon lord. Because it seems like Shizu is also like an important role
Mhm.
that hasn't been like she hasn't been out there yet. Like I feel like they're waiting for the time to tell us more about Shizu.
Mhm. I mean, we kind of got her backstory already in some of the episodes.
Probably get more details
Yeah.
later on, and then
Mhm.
you'll get to.
Yeah, probably next
More
season
of
because I think
that.
they confirmed season 2 already, and I'm looking forward to it. So
When is it gonna be, or they just
Uh,
confirmed there's gonna be one
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know
this
they
year?
confirmed it.
You don't
I
know?
have no idea. But that reminded me after you said that. The other thing that kind of confused me is in the openings. Both openings that they showed different battles going on with certain people, and then some of those people didn't even show up in the anime at all, which kind of confused me. So I didn't know if it
Is
was
there
like
even any introduction on those people, or they didn't show up?
some
at
of
all?
them it were. The other one I didn't even see that person at all.
Okay.
I didn't even mention them. But that was kind of confusing for me. I didn't know if it was like a teaser or if it was just like they're making it open and got to make it look nice. They got to make it exciting.
Yeah.
But that was the only thing that
Maybe they'll show
really
it on the
critiqued.
next season.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. So overall, since you finished the anime, how would you rate this anime?
Probably like
10 being the best anime you've ever watched ever.
10 would be like perfection, right? Like nothing can beat this, right?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
For you, yeah.
Probably like a 6 or 7. I think I said that before in the last episode.
So
I'd
it's
say
still
yeah,
the same?
probably like a 6. I'd say 6.
6. Okay.
But like enjoyability, it's like 8 or 9. like just enjoying watching it, 8 or 9.
Okay.
But like overall score, probably like a 6.
So Konosuba or this, which one would be on a higher level or rating?
Konosuba. That one really made me laugh, and I like I'm a sucker for like funny anime, so that one would be like an 8.
Konosuba?
7 or 8, probably closer to 7.
Oh my goodness.
Enjoyability, it'd be like a 9 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sword Art Online or?
Nah, we're not doing this right now.
I want to know.
No, we're not doing this right now.
Why not?
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll catch y'all next time. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other places. I'll link them down in the description. But thank y'all for listening.
SAO or this?
See you next time.